It's finally happened. The war has finally come to Russia, to Russian territory. Russian Ministry of Defense and Russian President Vladimir Putin both confirmed it. Ukraine is serving a big blow to Russia in the west of the country, in Kursk province. Ukrainian troops in armor crossed Russian-Ukrainian border and are moving deeper and deeper into Russia as we speak. This is the breaking news, and let's find out what's happening now. Howdy, howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. And this is an unusual stream today. As usual, you will not find any propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions, as I am human being after all. Today's live stream is, well, a strange one. Once in a while, live streams like this happen when something very unusual happen in Russia. Before I start, I would like to warn everyone: please behave, be respectful to me and to each other. No discussion of U.S. politics. This channel and this stream is about what's happening inside Russia. Let me, since it's an unusual stream, I will turn the live stream chat on right away. I don't really have a message for you today. I'll just tell you what has happened in the last 48 hours. Thank goodness sound is okay. And let me please give me a second to turn the live stream chat on. There you go. So what is happening in Russia right now? Let me tell you, folks. Well, I did not expect it, but I see the logic behind what Ukraine is doing right now, and I will tell you towards the end of the stream, because first, the news. What the heck is happening? This is Wednesday, and usually every Wednesday I do the World News Update as seen from Russia. It's a news weekly report, international news, and I was going to do that, but things happened. We started hearing the news from the west of Russia yesterday morning, late morning, and the news were about another raid onto Russian territory from Ukraine. At first, I paid very little attention to those kinds of news for two reasons. It's happened before, and it's local. It's nothing major. They were two raids, as far as I remember, into the territory of Russia. A couple dozens of kilometers deep into the territory, both executed by a battalion where the Russian fighters are. It's called the Legion of Freedom of Russia. And the reason number two, I wasn't paying much attention, is because every time a raid like that happened, the armed forces of Ukraine distanced themselves from saying it was them. Every time they said, it wasn't us, it was just the Russians willing to help Ukrainians who are fighting in Ukraine. They armed themselves and they just said it's them. So yesterday the news started coming in saying the Ukrainian troops crossed the border and they were operating on a Russian territory. A very odd thing happened. Usually Russian news explode with a situation like that, with a news like that. Especially Russian Z reporters called Voyenkory, the military bloggers who are operating on the front lines or next to the front lines. And Ukrainians, they explode with the news of that kind too. But not this time. There weren't much news on the Ukrainian side whatsoever. Silence. and mostly rumors on the Russian side. And I don't really like to rely on rumors. And that's just one thing happened and alarmed me. Um, the official statements, there were two. The first statement came from the Ministry of Defense. It announced that the raid was taking place indeed, um, but it was successfully defeated, and Russia was defended or whatever. And of course, Russian army was victorious. And then a Chechnyan commander named Apti Aladinov, he released a video, and check this out.
Все успокаиваемся, берем попкорн,
He's saying,
спокойно наблюдаем за тем, как наши уничтожают.
he said, everyone be quiet, sit down, take popcorn, and just watch as our troops are destroying the Ukrainian forces. Well, Mr. Ladinov, you don't have to tell me twice. I have my virtual popcorn right next to me ready at all times. So I don't have to take it. I have it right here. But when I heard these two statements, I thought to myself, this is different. This is big. This is something worth taking a look at. And that's where I understood that something worthy of looking into what's going on. Because if nothing was going on, then these people, Ministry of Defense or Laudinov, they would not say anything. They would have kept silent. They would have released, the Ministry of Defense would have released a just tiny statement like, the enemy tried to break into Russia but was defeated. Russian armed forces delivered crushing defeat, just like they did in the previous raids. And it wasn't that easy. The raids were actually successful from the Ukrainians, but Russian Ministry of Defense, of course, thinks it's defeated the enemies. So that was yesterday, 6th of August. And this morning, multiple reports started coming in, multiple. The primary sources that I've been relying on have been of four kinds. First, from the people, regular people, ordinary people of Kursk, people from the border villages and towns there, Voyenkory, the militarized bloggers, part of Russian propaganda, but, they provide reliable information from time to time. And by how and what they say, you can make your opinion of a situation. You kind of like paint a big picture of what's going on. And of course, I watch on the official news. It's not like I believe them, but they also give a lot of food for thought. So now, I'm warning you, this is still going on. This is breaking news. Things are in development. There are myriads of rumors right now, literally right now. This is why this is breaking. This is why I'm doing this live stream. Some of these rumors are fakes and some are true. For example, the biggest fake so far has been a deep fake video of the Kursk governor. He was basically seeding panic among people of Kursk. Turned out to be fake. I kind of figured, there was another video released that he really did. It basically said everything is under control, keep quiet. Of course, not everything is under control. Ukrainian troops on Russian territory, that's nice control, but perhaps for them it's control. So anyway, there have been many true videos, there have been many fakes. So what do we know so far? Let me give you facts that I know. I'm not looking at the live stream chat right now. I see a couple super chats. One, thank you, friends. I will go through them after I'm done, kind of giving you the facts, and then we'll discuss what's going on. I'll give you my opinions. So thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And I will pay attention to the chat a little bit later. So thank you. Now, the facts. So what do we know so far? Ukrainian armed forces did cross the border and started moving inside Russian territory. They're moving right now. They're maneuvering. They're getting reinforcement. They are engaging in fights with Russian armed forces. So the war is happening on the side of, on the Russian side of the border. Another fact is that the province capital city of Kursk has been under fire. The fire started yesterday, and it's been pretty heavy, and there's a lot of air defense system working. It's really hard to say who is firing what, who is flying, what kind of planes. Is it F-16, Ukrainian F-16s, or it's chaos right now. I am receiving reports from regular people. We have some people on Tashkent Breakfast Club here from Kursk, and they were showing me literally what the witnesses were writing them. Everyone's scared. Everyone thinks that things are not going according to the plan. Things are not well. And there's, still going on. Another fact is the target of the Ukrainian troops that we can clearly see right now is the town of Sugja, or Sugja. I think it's Sugja. The territory of the Ukrainian armed forces are occupying right now. Imagine, I'm going to show you the map right now. It's about 11 kilometers or 6 miles wide and 15 kilometers or 10 miles deep into Russian territory. And I want you to check this map right here. So this town highlighted, you see it's called Sudja, and it's to the right of this highlighted territory. The black line on the bottom is the national border between Russia and Ukraine. And city of Kursk is highlighted, that direction is highlighted with arrow. And city of Kursk, it's a major Russian city. It's the capital of the province. Is 80 kilometers away, or about 50 miles. And this is what Ukrainian forces are occupying and controlling right now. That's their Platzdarm. I don't know how you say that. That's their base. They moved in, they established the base, and now Russians are trying to kick them out and just push them back into Ukraine. So this is the map. Vladimir Putin, and this is one of the huge indicators. I usually look for reaction of Putin or Minister of Defense. Once the leadership starts talking, that's serious. It shows you the magnitude. And Vladimir Putin conducted a meeting, a scheduled meeting with the government, the folks from the government. And he mentioned the situation in Kursk that is developing. But what's much more interesting is that he arranged an unscheduled Security Council meeting with very limited amount of people. And I'm going to tell you after I show you the video. I will be trying. I haven't had a chance to translate because this is breaking. This is happening. So check out. I'm going to be commenting and translating as we go. So this is Vladimir Putin entering. So he walks kind of funny. Something is wrong on one side of his body. He can't control it or whatever. But then I want you to notice this. That's the government. And there are quite a few people. And this meeting is different. He usually doesn't get that close to members of his government or to anyone for that matter. And this time he's still not close to them, but not like yards and yards away, if you know what I mean. So he's, or perhaps it's just the angle. Perhaps he's far. I wish they filmed them from behind so we could see how far people are sitting.
У нас с вами большая повестка по основным направлениям деятельности правительства, но начать придется с событий в Курской области. Как известно, киевский режим предпринял.
So he basically greets everyone and says, "Well, we have a regular meeting, but I must start with a different, with unscheduled message, and I would like to address the situation that is happening in Kursk province and Kiev regime, which he always claims, illegal and so forth, is doing a provocation," he says.
Очередную масштабную провокацию
Massive provocation.
ведет неизбирательную стрельбу из разных видов оружия, в том числе ракетного, по гражданским зданиям, жилым домам, машинам скорой помощи.
The enemy is bombing our infrastructure, civil buildings, emergency facilities, and so forth. I'm gonna address that in a little bit.
Сразу же после нашего совещания у меня будет встреча с руководителями силовых ведомств, Министерства обороны, Генеральным штабом, ФСБ, имея в виду пограничное направление деятельности Федеральной службы безопасности. И заслушаю очередной доклад коллег по тому, что происходит в Курской области. Но хотел бы сказать, что по итогам моего разговора с исполняющим обязанности губернатора Курской области даны поручения ряду гражданских ведомств по оказанию необходимой помощи жителям области. И правительство тоже прошу заняться этим безотлагательно. Координировать эту работу на первом этапе прошу первого заместителя председателя правительства Российской Федерации Мантурова Дениса Валентиновича.
So there are two interesting things that Putin said. He basically, it's the usual blah blah blah, One thing interesting to watch was that he mentioned that the Kiev regime is targeting civil infrastructures, residential blocks, emergency facilities, hospitals, I think hospitals, but anyway, civil stuff. That's odd. That's very odd. I'm going to find a video, okay? That was live in the Russian national TV. I think it was Россия 1, Россия 1. And it was quite a long time ago. It was in winter of 2022/2023, where one of the Russian senators, a heavyweight senator in charge of the Committee on Defense, or a member of a Committee on Defense, live acknowledged that Russian military targets civil infrastructure of Ukraine. And two hosts, they jumped on him and said, well, we don't target civil infrastructure. We only target military. And he said, no. The concept has changed. We're targeting electric stations, hospitals, water treatment plants. We want to destroy as many facilities of civil infrastructure in Ukraine so people would freeze. And the more they freeze, the more pressure they would be applying onto Ukrainian government. Okay, we'll remember that. It's on record. This is not fake news. I'm not making this up. And I have a video to prove it. I will, show it. Not right now, but this is something that needs to be addressed again. And now Vladimir Putin is saying, oh, Ukrainians I'm sure they're not targeting civil infrastructure, but even if they were, come on. What's good for the goose, good for the gander, right? No, not right. Of course, we can do that. They can't. Anyway, and the second interesting thing was that he said that he spoke to the governor of Kursk province earlier, and he ordered to help those Russians civilians who have been affected. So he acknowledged that there's damage. He acknowledged that the people need help. They acknowledged that evacuations are going on. And then he made Denis Manturov the first vice president, that guy who not too long ago said that there were 160,000 people shortage in the military-industrial complex you know, that guy. So he's in charge of helping those Russians who have been affected. Well, good luck, because I think that many thousands, many tens, perhaps hundreds of thousands will be affected by this. Uh, so that's the first video. Now I want you to watch. I want you to see that's the second video. Of course, the second one is from the Security Council meeting. That's a little period of time that they showed us actually. But hey, it's better than nothing. Check this out.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Прошу доложить ситуацию, которая складывается в Курской области.
So this is the Security Council meeting, and we're seeing Vladimir Putin is sitting much closer to three people. To the right, this new Russian Ministry of Defense, Belousov. To the left, Shoigu, the old Ministry of Defense. Now he's been made the head of Security Council. And right next to them is Bortnikov, the head of the KGB. Okay, so this is how the... And the rumors have it, it's inside Putin's home. This room, this cabinet, the office is inside... near Moscow, inside of one of his residences. It's not in the Kremlin. Well, I don't know whether it's true or not, but interesting. And of course, on the screen we have acting Chief of General Staff of Russian Federation, Gerasimov.
Начальник генерального штаба находится сейчас на одном из пунктов оперативного управления.
Gerasimov is somewhere close to the fighting someplace.
А затем Сергей Кужегедович расскажет о результатах своей поездки в Иран и в Азербайджан.
For their meeting. Shoot, I had another video. I wish I could tell you. I could show you. Anyway, there was a longer video where Gerasimov actually spoke. But you know what? Funny, he spoke like he wasn't really speaking. He spoke as if, and of course it could be just, it's my opinion, that could be a mistake, but he spoke as if artificial intelligence were, this programs AI does right now is they, I speak English and they can make me speak Spanish with my own voice, but you could see that jerk movements of lips, things like that, in imperfections. And I think that's what I noticed at Gasimov Speech. Virtual background and the guy, anyway, something was fishy. He said that the enemy, the enemy is... used to be brothers and sisters not too long ago, and Putin was saying that now it's the enemy. The enemy is moving in Russia, and Russian troops are defeating right now. The situation is stressful, but Gerasimov promised. He said, "We're gonna win. We're gonna be victorious. I promise that the enemy will be thrown back to the border of Russian Federation." So another fact is a few thousand civilians have been evacuated, according to the Kursk governor and multiple channels of where I receive information. Mass evacuations are continuing, underway right now. I'm not sure whether they are evacuating Kursk, because still Kursk is a long way from where the Ukrainian troops are right now. But Kursk is a major city in Russia, Another fact is that this is serious. This is not your just a raid in and out, overnight raid or something like that. Kursk governor just enacted the state of emergency situation for the province, for the entire province. The news came in about an hour ago. This is serious stuff. That just changes a lot how government agencies and everything works in the province. surprisingly or unsurprisingly enough, I don't know, pick your own version, Ministry of Defense is still claiming that this is just a few groups, the raids of few militant groups. But we're seeing otherwise. Well, that's Ministry of Defense for you. It seems, look, right now there are two groups operating in Ukraine, Russian groups, military groups, group of armies, that's how they call them. The North and the South. And where Ukrainian attack is happening right now is the territory under control and responsibility, the group that is called the North. If you look at the map of Ukraine, you'll see that that's northern part near Sumy. So this is where attack is happening. And the commander is General Lapin, this guy. And he's known to be not very, well, he's rumored to be not very educated or smart strategist, military strategist, but he's a 3-star general and he's in charge of, he's one of the 2 generals. So again, this is his responsibility. A news just came out, Ministry of Defense. Folks, this is crazy. Okay, they're saying that they're so great. They did not allow for the border break. And the Ukrainian troops operating in the Russian territory it's not a border break. But anyway, the reason I showed you Lapin is it'll be interesting to see what happens to him after. Will he be responsible for that or not? So anyway, the short summary is that the Ukrainians are rolling on the Russian soil. And for the first time, it's so massive. Before, they were just drone attacks, shellings of near border villages and towns, Shebekino, and the other ones, and raids, in and out type of thing. Now, it's big. Ukrainians have occupied a large territory inside Russia, and they're moving forward. They're pushing that territory into different directions. Because the more territory, the longer the borders are. And the longer the borders of that territory, the more difficult it'll be for Russian troops to push the Ukrainians back. So this is what we're having right now. I see someone just made a comment. Interesting. As Konstantin says, the peace is not happening. Okay, well, you know what? I think this brings us closer to peace. And I think this situation is confirming my words, the stream that I made on August 1st. But just give me a few more minutes. I'll explain what I think about that. So anyway, before I jump, friends, I don't know how many people, almost 8,000 people. Thank you so very much for coming. You really are giving me great feedback by coming, watching, liking, subscribing. I want to thank you, those of you who watch my shows every day, who are my patrons of Inside Russia, the sponsors of the channel, and buy me coffees at buymeacoffee.com. Thank you. Know that it's not just watching, it's not just signing to become patrons or sponsors, and it's not just buying me coffees. It's by doing that, I get you give me the signal, the message that you value my work so highly that you actually go an extra mile and support the channel. So thank you so very much. That's very inspirational, and you just give me energy to move forward. Without you, without our virtual community, I would die, because it's what I've been going on through. It's really difficult. But anyway, thank you so very much. It's a pleasure seeing you all. Now, I have a couple questions, and I have some food for thought, and I'll be done with message type of thing, and I will just tell you what what is going on, what information is coming in. I'm, trying to control everything. So now I have two questions, and they're rhetorical questions. So we know the answers, but anyway, I still have them. Where was Russian reconnaissance and intelligence? How come they did not see this large mass of Ukrainian armor, troops, people moving towards Russian border, regrouping and entering Russian border? That I answer myself. There is none, no reconnaissance in the Russian army, no intelligence. Where is the air support, air reconnaissance, those big planes that the flying radars and scan everything? None. Second question. Where are the mobilized troops? According to the Ministry of Defense, 350,000 people were mobilized 2 years ago, or close to 2 years ago, to keep Russia safe. The rumors have it around 1 million people have been mobilized. Then later, Vladimir Putin confirmed around 700,000 people so far, because some were mobilized in September of 2022, and for over a year and a half, people were being lured into signing contracts with Ministry of Defense by large bonuses. I'm not making excuses for them. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, but hey, that's happened. Right now, they're paying $2.5 million rubles, which is $30,000+ for if you sign a contract with Ministry of Defense. That's just one sign-up bonus, one time, and then you get lots of money monthly for regular Russian. So anyway, where are those people? Where are they right now? Why they aren't in Kursk pushing Ukrainians away, like Putin been saying, oh, we invaded Ukraine so Russians can sleep well and safe, We're doing it for our own safety, Where is safety? Where is safety? If I lived in Kursk, I would be kind of furiously asking this question right now. What the fudge is going on? Where is the safety? Increased safety, okay? Just don't give increased safety. Give the safety that we had before, February 24th, 2022. Just bring us back that safety, okay? Impossible now, unfortunately. Anyway, two questions, rhetorical ones. And let me give you food for thought. I think that this situation is showing us that things in the Russian armed forces are much worse than we thought. Like I said, there's no intelligence, there's no reconnaissance, there's no air support. The Russian army is caught surprised. Come on, they're fighting a war, okay? And that's been it's getting like 2.5 years. If they were not knowledgeable back then, they could have learned. They don't care, okay? That just shows the situation is much worse for the armed forces. Russian armed forces are just not made to fight, okay? They're made to steal budget's money, the federal budget money, okay? But they cannot perform. This whole situation shows that Russian army is, number one, exhausted, number two, understaffed, and number three, most likely they don't have necessary ammo hardware. Now, why Ukrainians are doing this for the first time in 2.5 years? Why they have crossed the border and moving deep inside Russian territory? I think that they're trying to use a different tactics right now because situation has changed, shifted. Geopolitical situation is different. And, before I jump there, let me take a sip of this wonderful English breakfast tea. Comes from England, from the Twinings. Love it. And let me tell you that so many news come from Russia every single day, and every day I carefully select 9 news that I find important, that matter. I make them available to patrons of Inside Russia at patreon.com. I put my commentaries and my analysis, and we actually do that with Oля. Oля has been helping me a great deal. That's my daughter. She's been in charge of the news, and I run it with her, and together we produce news that they really show what's happening in Russia, okay, at any given time. If you want to know, if you want to keep up with things about Russia, if you want to stay on top of things, sign up, become patron of Inside Russia at patreon.com. You will have access to 9 news a day, really important stuff. Now, why I'm not putting any news about what's happening right now on Patreon? Because, first of all, it's too early to say. It's still developing. And second is, I think that by doing the stream, I've covered everything that I know right now, and it wouldn't be fair to do it just for patrons and sponsors, okay? Because this is major stuff. I think it's needed to be known by a large audience. So anyway, why are Ukrainians doing that? The situation is different. On August 1st, I made a live stream, and I boldly called it "Peace is Coming." I still think peace is coming, and what is happening right now, is another proof that peace is coming. Putin knows that he cannot fight like this any longer, okay? There have been discussions on how long Russia can wage the war in this current stage. There are two requirements for Russia to be able to do it a very long time. Requirement number 1, Russia needs to continue selling oil and gas, well, preferably oil. And that's number 1. Number 2 is that Russia needs to be able to trade with China, to buy things from China, to take those dollars that it receives for oil sold and transfer to China to get goods. Because Russia does not produce anything, and China is the last country that is trading supply in Russia with consumer goods. As we know, the secondary sanctions, Americans are hard at work, and they're making secondary sanctions work. And it's becoming more and more difficult, increasingly difficult for Russians to sell oil. And we really see a trend for less and less Russian oil sold in the future. And Putin understands that, and he also understands that there's troubles with China. There's no SWIFT, there's no Chinese banks refuse. There haven't been any payments made in the last 3 weeks with any Chinese banks, and Russia will start suffering very soon. It's suffering already. So he knows that he needs a way out. He knows he's in zugzwang. He knows the economy is sinking. He knows it better than I do and you do. Okay, he knows. He is looking for a way out. He's looking for peace. Truce or peace? Perhaps truce first, ceasefire, and then would lead into peace. Now, what conditions? I don't know. But he needs peace. Will he give up part Ukrainian land? Will he give up all Ukrainian land? Will he keep Crimea? Will he, give Crimea back to Ukraine? Again, we don't know. It will be a subject of negotiations. And this exchange of prisoners that took place, that's, a good indication too. So now, what Ukrainians are doing, my humble opinion, I'm not saying it's true, but please understand, this is my opinion. They are trying to get leverage in the upcoming negotiations. They're trying to So bring the game to Putin's land. So when they sit at the table and negotiate, they will have something to trade for something. Russian territories for Ukrainian territories. Okay, it'll be interesting to see whether Ukrainians will stay or Russia will throw lots of resources to push them back. We don't know that, but if Russia does that, remember I told you it's exhausted, understaffed. If Russia starts pulling troops, armor, I don't know, aircraft from other places, it will be thinning itself out, and those places will be vulnerable. So I think that's Ukrainian strategy so far, the way I see it. Friends, thank you so much. I will look at the comments. I have not looked at them. I don't even see them right now. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. I will not stay on for a long time. Let me know what you think, because I need to know your opinions as well. Again, this is something that is happening right now, breaking news. And let me just, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge moderators. If you're here for the first time, know that this Inside Russia community has the best moderation team in the world. And another proof of it is right now is Wednesday. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. World news update as seen in Russia. Okay. Try strict magic. I'll get to your question later. So we got to be doing, I'm not going to be giving you a message on the news with no chat. And this is kind of like day off for mods, but I asked mods, Lorna, Mommy, Bob S., Harry Potter, Amir, and Dirk to come and help me out. And they said, yeah, sure. And they're here. Thank you so very much. This is an unusual event. This is happening, okay? So thank you for supporting. I see quite a few super chats, questions, and I'll try to answer. 15 minutes, perhaps something like that. Aaron Kinsley, thank you so much from Canada. I want to know who is Putin's number two, the only other person he trusts. Well, it has nothing to do with today's topic. Okay, he trusts his friend, childhood friend. Well, not childhood, but his former colleague from St. Petersburg mayorate office. His last name is Kovalchuk, very close friend of Putin. He trusts his friends from the childhood. Raldigin used to be his best man at the wedding. He trusts Rottenberg, the guy he used to do judo when he was the teenager. He trusts Chemizov, his former KGB colleague. They were both spies in East Germany back in the 80s, and they lived right next to each other for years, and they were friends. That's pretty much the people he trusts. Bicycle Sunday, welcome to Inside Russia. Emma Faraday, thank you so much. Sponsor for 2 months. Game of Thrones, Ukraine has a position of power. I agree with you. This is a Game of Thrones. Unfortunately, this isn't a TV show, okay? Unfortunately, this is real situation, real war, and real people die. They bleed. Children lose their fathers and mothers, and then people lose children. This is... And my country is, Ukraine is being erased, basically, or they trying to erase Ukraine, raise the cities and, annex land. And my country, Russia, is also falling apart. There's no win-win situation. Everyone loses here, okay? So this is a Game of Thrones, but a very sad one. Jekyll, howdy, thank you so much for the support from Australia. Ukrainian purpose is to show that Russia is weak and can't defend its borders. The Fear TikTok battalion made a tactical retreat. Yeah, there's a certain battalion in Russia, TikTok warriors. Yeah, they did. Well, that's so many news, myriads of news. It's really hard to I tried to condense the most important stuff into this live stream. I could be streaming here for 6 hours telling you the smallest details, which I have this coming up every single second. My telephone just rings up and rings up and rings up, vibrates. No, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to be a long stream. So that could be another purpose. Another purpose is to show the world that, hey, Russia, well, it's had an upper end in the last year or so, okay, because it moves into Ukrainian territory, not by much, by kilometers, miles, but still there's progress, okay. And then everyone is tired of that, and morale of Ukrainian army is probably low. So they need a tour de force to show something that Russian army is weak, and hey, we're back with a bang. That type of thing. That is possible. I thought of it. I'm not sure. Perhaps there are many goals. Okay, not just what I talked about. Not just to take a Platzdarm and keep it, and then try to negotiate. Exchange it for something else. So I think you are right too. Alberto Ravera, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to Inside Russia. KG1, Russia fighting with Dad's army. Agree? Hard to disagree with you. Gino Saputo, thank you so much for coming. Good to see you. Thank you for good words and support. Sam, the legend. Audience, please type a heart support. Thank you so much, friend. You are definitely the insider of the insiders, the pillar of the pillars. And Somit, thank you so very much for your huge support. Thanks to you and your team for bringing information to the rest of the world. Doing my best. I'm doing it because this is my mission. I'm doing it because they stole my country from me. They betrayed me, the government, the people. They chewed me up, spat me out. They destroyed my life. And I want everyone to know about that. I want to know what kind of people they are. Emma, again, thank you so much. Russians left the back door open. I think that's like everywhere it's open, okay? I think while people like this guy are in charge of Russian military, the doors are open, wide open, because they won't even go there. Yes, but how is mom? Mom is far away. Blackett, good to see you. Blackett used to be a moderator, and I did a great job. I'd like to recall that. Thank you, friend. Mom is well. I have a plan B for mom. Very stubborn lady. My mom a little bit from the live streams and things like that. And anyway, but trust me, I'm worried about her as well. I'm doing my best, having plan A, plan B for her evacuation. Been asking her, and I wish she just listened to me. Thor Vikhaugen, thank you so much for sponsoring 5 people. Mr. Thor, can I call you that? Because I'm very bad with hard name for me. Thorn Arne Vikhaugen, thank you so much. Richard, YouTube channel The Duran, keeps saying that Ukraine is finished. Ukraine is finished. Are they Russian propaganda? Well, I've never heard of this channel. I don't really watch other channels much. I watched Vainkory a lot. That's people who supply real information, sometimes uncensored, and most of the time censored. Sometimes something like breaking news, and they type something, they send a message, and then they retweet it a couple hours later. But hey, we cannot unsee it. It's right here. Sometimes I make screenshots. So that's who I watch. The Duran. Ukraine is finished. Ukraine has the support of the entire world behind it. How can it be finished? The thing is, Russia is in such unfavorable position right now. It cannot defeat Ukraine, hasn't been able to in the last 2.5 years. And the more military and financial support Ukraine has, the fewer chances of Russia to defeat it. But just for a second, let's imagine that Ukraine is defeated by Russia. What will Russians do? Let's say they push all the way into Poland, Zelensky runs, and they install their own government. What will Russia do then? Why does it need Ukraine? It's going to spend so much money on rebuilding things in Ukraine, because Ukrainian economy is ruined right now. It's GDP minus 1/3, and it's being helped by the West, and obviously it wouldn't be. Okay, Russia would have to take the bill. Russia is not doing well at all economically. Like, what it would gain from Ukraine? It would gain so many troubles, hate of people, of the Ukrainians, guerrilla fighting. They need to stop. Putin, the best way out for him is to stop. That's it. If he can keep the lands, he probably would try to, but Ukrainians wouldn't go for it. Okay, so he would have to move the troops back, and then he would have to explain to Russians why he did invade Ukraine in the first place. So it's complicated. But again, Duran, never heard of the guy. The channel, I don't think that Ukraine is finished. Well, what's it finished? Why it's in Russia right now? Ask yourself a very simple question, not the vice versa. Crusader Damien, thank you so much for coming, friend. The best questions. The chickens are coming home to roost. Kursk will be a bargaining chip, and the West is increasing armaments and losing patience with Russia. Thank you so much. That's kind of what I said. So we are on the same page here. Siba, thank you so much. Will Putin remain in power, or do you foresee a coup? Putin will not remain in power. I don't know how he will lose it, but the ground is shaking underneath him. This is my opinion. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm not. But there are many ways how for him to lose power now. More ways to lose than to keep it. Great Southern Land, sponsor for 14 months. Thank you, friend. Is Ukraine going for Kursk? Nuclear power plant, trade for Zaporozhye? I thought of it. That's a crazy idea, but I don't think so. It's too dangerous. Way too dangerous, because if it explodes, if it's hit by a shell, or it's not just going to be for Russia. It's going to be bad for Ukraine as well, because Kursk nuclear power plant is not too far from the Ukrainian border. So I think that both Russians and Ukrainians are wise enough to keep this power plant out of fighting. Mr. Kaliskin, sponsor for 17 months. Thank you. Send blessings, best wishes from sending blessings and best wishes from Chicago. Thank you, friend. Caesars, thank you for sponsorship for 5 people. You see, when this is inspirational. When someone buys sponsorship to 1, 5, 10 people, I think once Jason Carney bought sponsorship for 100 people, something like that. So when someone sends sponsorship, it means that they value sponsorship high enough to reward other people. And this is just, to me, it shows that I'm doing something right. So thank you, friends. Thank you so much. Santi Prieto, inside Russia. Where can we order popcorn in large amounts? My popcorn is Uzbek style. It's literally like a can this big. It's like size of 3 cans of Coke. Popcorn, it says American popcorn. I'll show it to you next live stream. So if you can order a large quantity, send me some. Mr. Thorn, thank you so much from Norway. Thank you. I definitely will keep on going. Melissa Harden, thank you for being sponsored for 18 months. Add the prayer list since in the hospital. I will do that now. Melissa Harden. So, thank you, Melissa. Calvin, thank you so much, friend. Thank you. Caesars, again, thank you. What was the longest war of attrition? war of attrition that Russia fought in the past 150 years. You put me on the spot. I cannot tell you that. Of course, it's not. Well, the First World War was fought for by Russia for 5 years, I think. 12, 11. Before that, 150 years. I'm sorry, put me on the spot. I can't tell you that. Please answer. Terry, good to see you. Thank you so much for super thanks. And Patyovs, thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Now, let me take a couple questions that are not from super chats, just regular questions. And so, do you have lost many people in your life after this madness happened? Fidos, no offense meant with my question. Greetings from Finland. No offense taken, but it's not an easy question to answer. The first time, well, the first person we lost, well, wasn't really close to us, but the first time the war started in February, and we moved to Moscow soon after, because we were in Rostov at the time. And then I gave an interview to an Irish TV and like large audience. And I said things that they were not taken lightly by Russian government. Then, now, whatever. And then I went to Uzbekistan for a month just to be safe than sorry. While I was there in April, Michael was attending kindergarten in Moscow, and he was friends with one of the girls, and her was it April or September? And I think it was April, yes. And the girl's father went to fight in Ukraine and came back 2 weeks later in a coffin. The girl was 5 at the time. That was the first time. Ever since, I lost 7 people that I know. Not very close, because none of my close relatives or, God forbid, friends are fighting. All my friends have left Russia, escaped, just like I did. I don't have anyone supporting the war that close to me. But I know quite a few people. So, very sad question. Thank you. Share Leaf, thank you. How do you foresee how the world will now look at Ukraine? Ukraine is going to be shining. That's how I think. It's united. It has found its national idea, and I think it's going to be rebuilt, and it's going to shine. I know Ukraine is being invaded. Could this lead to shutdown and Western support? No, I don't think the Western support. I mean, why would the West stop supporting Ukraine? I don't see that happening. Crusader Damien, thank you again. Commander Vahmat clarified what looked like an abandonment of their position was that the commander had the battle map upside down. Yeah, I remember in Rostov they were rushing from Chechnya to Rostov, and it takes, I don't know, 8 hours, 9-hour drive, something like that. It took them more than a day. They arrived to Rostov when Wagner had left, and they claimed that their GPS navigator broke down and they went to a wrong place. So, go figure. Smoke Dogs, Creative Flows, thank you so much. The cost of the coming peace in this conflict has been paid in blood and loss. Peace can't come fast enough. Thank you for the efforts. I know. There's not much I can add. It's come in huge blood and loss, and everyone keeps asking why. What had Russia and Ukraine had to divide? What did Russia want from Ukraine? Why did it invade? This is just so useless. Can't come fast enough. But my bet is that they will start actively negotiating in late September, October, perhaps early November, something like that. And of course, they're anxiously waiting for the results of the U.S. elections. No discussion of the U.S. elections. No discussion of U.S. politics. Please, please, please. We have lots of people here with different opinions. Please comment on the statement of the 3 Russian opponents, because they're... Okay, I didn't see the message. Zeb Mez, if you're talking about those people who exchanged, give it some time. I will make a stream. I know, I heard them. I know the situation. I have my thought. Just don't judge them too fast, okay? Just give it some time. Bob, time reminder. Okay, couple questions, Bob. Thank you so much. There was a big question from someone I missed with like diamonds in them. Broval, 88, howdy friend. Diane Sanger, thank you for coming from Canada. Jeffrey, as usual. Here, cool story, bro. Setback for BRICS. BRICS is one big setback, you know. Guy Hagberg, thank you so much. Santi Prieto, thank you so much for acknowledging moderators. Thank you. Could Xi Jinping take advantage of Russia's current weakness and invade Manchuria? That I cannot tell you. We will see. What Chinese have on their minds is really only Chinese know. Thank you. Per Haglind, Constant, you got thumbs up for me, number 2029. Thank you so much, friend. And by the way, if you hit that like button, give me thumbs up. Ghost Razgriz, One Blaze, what are your thoughts on the potential for civilian casualties in the Russian response? You are more up to date on Russian forces' morale and stress. Well, I am not a huge expert on Russian military. I use general information. I try to paint a picture in my head. My general understanding is the Russian forces' morals and stress is enormous. People have been fighting for 2 years with no rotation. Morals are low. Potential for civilian casualties in the Russian response. I don't know what Russian response will be. They will be trying to push the Ukrainians back. Well, good luck doing that. Okay, because it's much easier to defend, especially the Ukrainians have picked the right landscape, okay, for deflecting the attacks. Good luck pushing them to Ukraine first, and then we'll see for the response. But I don't know what it'll be. Friends, thank you so very much for coming. This is it for today. I will do my best to do World News Update tomorrow. Please tune in. Friday is not looking good at this point in terms of live stream. I have a close friend coming from the UK to visit me. Well, I will keep you informed, but I will, one way or another, I will make these reports. World News as seen from Russia and Crazy Friday reports. So please stand by. It's just the schedule could change a little bit from the regular one. Thank you for coming. I would like to invite everyone to pray with me. We have 7,500 people, both religious, non-religious people. If you're not religious, just don't call it this prayer. Call it sending good vibes or wishes to people. That's what we do. In my eyes, it's the same. So I invite everyone to finish this live stream with a prayer. Thank you so much. Hang on, no, someone asked me to be put on prayer. Hang on 1 second. Mhm. Please join me. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who will love and who love us. Dear Lord, please give us wisdom to keep our children's, the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children the way that when they grow up, they will make this world a better place and will not ever fight in any wars. Please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help Ukraine and Ukrainians who have suffered from this terrible tragedy. Please answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Reach out and touch the hearts of people who are responsible and capable of making the decision to have peace. Thaw their hearts, fill them with love, remind them that they're still human beings, so they wake up from their lethargic sleep and make the decision for peace. Help my country, Russia, assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords into a large army led by Saint Michael in shining armor and send them like a heavenly avalanche to the earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country, the demons who we know by their names and by their faces. Have Russia free, peaceful, loving, and respecting. Please send help to everyone who is in dire straits and needs help, in danger. Send safe travels to those who are traveling. Send safety to those Ukrainians who are currently under attacks or possibility of attacks from Russian missiles and bombs. Please bless those who are helping Ukrainians, opening their doors, hearts, wallets. God bless them. Please help single mothers and fathers who are raising their children, having a hard time and trying to make ends meet. Send help. And please help those who are addicted, sick, cold, hungry, jobless, homeless, betrayed, crying right now, feeling lonely, not feeling well about themselves, about their lives, lost and losing their faith. Please reach out to every person in need and fill their hearts with love. Show them that you have not abandoned them, that you are still with them, watching every step they take, and love them with your fatherly love. Please help everyone in need. Dear Lord, thank you so much for 6,600 people praying right now along with me, or simply watching us pray. Answer everyone's prayer who is praying right now and make everyone's wish come true. Dear Lord, I would like to ask you for a few people who need your help. They are Ann Larson and her daughter Hannah, Jeffrey S. and his family members, Alex from Albuquerque, Mark Rutan, Tom W., J.R. McKim, Frank in Texas, Gabing with Gary. Please send recovery. Lisa Cumbrian, Harry Potnan and his family, Terry Carter, John McLean, Linda Trombley, Paula W., Dennis, Jason Carney, Susie Mailer, Tim Mayers, Dory, Rhonda McGillis, John, Taylor, Wayne, Dave, Dawn, Darla, George Ruberty, Pamela J., Meta Spencer, David Porter, his family, and everyone in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Leif, Randolph, Grace, Dean Spooner and his church, Yelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Sergey, Liz, Ron, Glotzer, Liz Dombrell, Koshkin Dom, Sandra, Mike and Mike, Petra Olson, Joseph Abide, Melissa Harden, and Joel Rames. Thank you so very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you for coming. It's incredible feeling to see you all here, to communicate with you. Thank you. It's my honor and my pleasure. Please keep on tuning in. I have more interesting streams for you. And don't forget that you're absolutely awesome and you rock. And before I sign off, I'd like, as usual, I'd like to ask everyone to say out loud, as loud as you can along with me, Carthago delenda est.